A community is grieving this morning after a 2-year-old was discovered dead in Marietta. Investigators finding Messiah Harris's body just hours after he was reported missing. And Good Day's Kim Leffler joins us from the Marietta Police Department with what we know right now. Good morning to you, Kim.
Caitlin, good morning. Such a tragic story. Investigators are working right now to determine exactly what happened, but we know as of right now, they have not announced any arrests.
This was an incredibly tragic ending. This is the absolute worst ending that any of us could have possibly asked for.
After searching for hours Friday, investigators found the body of 2-year-old Messiah Harris in the woodline of the Briggs at Power Park Apartments where he lived.
The initial on-scene investigation became unclear because the caregiver was giving statements that just didn't make sense and weren't consistent. That led investigators to have to step back and confirm with the mother that the child was in fact missing.
Police say the initial 911 call came in around 2 p.m. They say Messiah was being watched by a male caregiver when he was reported missing. Investigators found Messiah's body around 7:20 Friday evening. They believe his body had been there for several hours. Police say the caregiver was not Messiah's father, and it remains unclear exactly how he is connected to the family. Both the mother and caregiver were brought in for questioning as police continue their search for answers.
But what we need now is to slow the investigation down and do our due diligence to ensure that if something was done incorrectly or improperly or to hurt him, that individual be held accountable.
The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office will be the one to determine Messiah's exact cause of death. Live this morning in Marietta, Kim Leffler for Good Day Atlanta.
Such a terrible story. Thanks, Kim, for those details. To Clayton County now, where a father is now under arrest after police say shooting his 2 sons. This took place Friday just before 8 p.m. on Robert E. Lee Parkway. Police say a domestic fight between Tracy Lamont Jackson and his 2 children then escalated into a physical one. A gunshot ended up wounding both of the young men. They were taken to the hospital, are expected to be okay. Jackson faces several charges, including aggravated assault and cruelty to children. 55-year-old Colin Gray, the dad of Apalachee High School shooter Colt Gray, is now asking for a new trial. Gray's attorneys filing their appeal Wednesday in Barrow County, days after he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. But what does that process look like? Fox 5's Larry Spruill reports.
If I was his attorney, the biggest thing I would have argued is that the statute does not apply to Colin Gray.
The fly lawyer is not connected to this case, but has years of experience in criminal defense. He got a chance to look at the appeal filed by Colin Gray's attorneys.
As an appellate attorney, I've had a chance to look at the motion for a new trial that was filed by his lawyer, and he's basically saying that the evidence was insufficient.
Gray's attorneys filed a motion for a new trial Wednesday in Barrow County, just days after he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. He was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, multiple counts of second-degree cruelty to children, and reckless conduct for the Apalachee school shooting in September 2024.
This statute says that in order to be guilty, the person must physically do cruelty to a child when this child dies. Colin Gray never did anything to anyone at that school.
And that's the argument Gray's attorneys are using in his defense. Gray provided his son Colt with the gun used to kill 2 teachers and 2 students and wounded dozens of others in the 2024 tragedy. The filing argues the guilty verdict was contrary to evidence and without evidence to support it, and decidedly and strongly against the weight of the evidence.
Generally, when you argue that the evidence is insufficient, in most cases, the judge will deny that. That's just the way it works. They'll let the Court of Appeals or the Supreme Court determine, depending on your issue, because this case will go to the Supreme Court because it involves a murder case.
Larry Spruill, Good Day Atlanta.
Today marks 1 year since a deadly shooting outside the CDC in DeKalb County. 33-year-old DeKalb County police officer David Rose was killed while responding to that emergency. The gunmen say police fired hundreds of rounds and struck 6 separate buildings before shooting Officer Rose and then turning the gun on himself. DeKalb County's police chief says Rose's bravery made all the difference that day. There's an historic marker at the CDC that will forever commemorate his life.
It's emotional because it's real. He was a member not only of our police department, but of our family. And the honor to serve our community and be willing to make that sacrifice. Not many people understand and appreciate that.
To mark the somber anniversary and move toward healing, Emory is holding a vigil in remembrance of the shooting at Glen Memorial United Methodist Church that begins at 11 a.m. New this morning, the Senate has confirmed Todd Blanche as the nation's next Attorney General. The vote was 50-49, narrowly approving President Donald Trump's former personal attorney to lead the Justice Department. He had been serving as acting Attorney General since April. And the Senate also passing a temporary government funding bill in a bipartisan 90-6 vote. The measure would keep federal agencies funded through December 11th, avoiding a potential shutdown in October. This bill includes no new funding for ICE and blocks a Trump administration rule on federal grants. This measure now heads to the House. We'll let you know what happens. Part of 285 shut down this Saturday. It runs between South Atlanta Road and Paces Ferry in Atlanta until Monday. GDOT says crews will be milling and grinding the concrete here. Important to note, this isn't the only road work this weekend. GDOT is also working on 75 from 285 to the north end of the expressway to Hickory Grove Road, also 285 near I-20.